I've now been building my Google Home smart home for a few years, and I've added a ton of different devices. I've moved different devices, and now my home is a complete mess. So in today's video, I'm gonna show you how I go through and organize all the different devices that I have added into the Google Home app so that I can have my smart home working for me. I'm gonna go over how to make sure your home is set up correctly, how to invite other members of your family into your home, how to go through add devices as well as disconnect devices you may not be using anymore, and then how to properly organize them into each room so that everything is going to be working great. Let's get started. Now, the first thing we need to do is head into the Google Home app. Now, I'm using an Android device today, but if you're using an iPhone, everything should look very similar. So the first step is we're going to talk about our home. So up here at the top, I'm currently in my home. If you load this up and it's not showing the devices that you're used to seeing, you may need to change your home. And you can do that just by tapping on the arrow there and choosing the correct home. Now, as you can see, I have 3 different homes, and I'm using those to kind of sort some of my devices. You could have up to 5 homes if you want, but my recommendation would be to only have 1 home. You may also be invited to a family member's home that would show up here. Now, you can also invite others to your homes, or if somebody invites you to your home, this is how you would switch between those homes. So there I can tap on home and it's going to go back into my home. But the one thing you need to know is if a device is in any of your homes, you'll be able to control it from any of your smart devices. So if I have a device at work, I'll still be able to control it at home with my Google speaker that's set in the actual home. Now, if you want to remove a home or adjust the name of your home, all you need to do is tap on the settings button down here on the bottom right. And then up at the top, you'll see home. So I can tap this arrow and that's where I can change the name of my home. And that is where I can also adjust my address of my home. Now, if you are sharing your home with other people, each person could change the name of the home to their own name. So it could be confusing if somebody does that, but if something's not working right, you may need to look into that. So now I have everything set up correctly there. So I'm going to tap back. Now that I have my name of my home and my address correct, we can now go through the process of inviting others in our home that we trust. I want to make sure that you are only inviting people you know, because once you invite them, they have access to all of your different devices and even your cameras. So make sure that you are only adding the correct email when you do this. So here you can see in my home, it's me and my wife. Others that are under 13 in the home will not show up in here. But if they're older than 13, they will then have full access. So you may not want to invite them into your home. So to invite somebody, we're going to tap on the plus right here, and then we're going to type in their name or email. So when I do that, it's then going to populate other contacts that you have from your Google account so that you can then invite them into your home. So I'm going to tap on the correct email. It's then going to tell me what's going to be shared. So full control of devices and services. Everyone in this home can access all devices and settings, including devices that are added later. They can also change all home settings and remove devices and add and remove people. So it's very important you only invite somebody that you trust. So we're going to go next here, and here you can see what else is shared. It's going to share home activity, so everyone in the home can see the activity of events from all devices and services like Nest Aware. This includes all events and face data captured on cameras and other devices. And then here it's going to share contact information and home address. So everyone in the home can see names and emails and other people in the home. People in this home can also see and change the address. And then lastly, assistant features. Everyone in this home can set up voice match and face match on existing and new assistant supported devices like speakers and displays. Other services that they link to their assistant like Spotify will be available to everyone in this home. So that's all the information that's shared. If you don't want any of that shared, do not invite anyone to your home. I'm going to tap next, and now it's saying, do you want to send the invite to this home? It does give me an option down here to show what devices they will then have access to. So you can see I have a long list of devices that we're going to go through today. So everything looks good. I'm now going to send that invite. A quick note here, if somebody is using a Google Workspace account, a paid for email account, they do not have access to join your home, and then kids under 13 won't have access to join either. So then they're going to check their email and accept the invitation into your Google Home. Once they do that and head into the Google Home app, here you can see that they now have access to home. And they haven't set up favorites here. I'll show you how to do that. But under devices, they now can see all the different devices that I have. Now, when you invite them, if you can't find your devices, you may need to go to the favorites tab, tap on the arrow, and choose the correct home. Here you can see that we have a home and we have an office. So just make sure that you are going to the correct home that you've been invited to. Now let me show you how you can remove a second home that you may have created and don't need anymore. One thing I do want to mention is some devices aren't able to be moved from one of the homes to the other. So if it's not moving, you will need to remove the device and then you will need to set it up again in the proper home. And then the other thing is some of them might not move over, so you may just need to go through the reset process if you delete the home. First thing we're going to do is move or transfer all the devices into the proper home. So here I'm going to tap on home and then I'm going to go to the home I want to delete. So here I've created a home called duplicates. So under devices, I can then see all the different devices that I have linked on this account. Now you could go through the process of moving them, and is how you would do that is I'm going to hold down on one of the devices. I'm going to tap settings, and here you can see that this actually hasn't been added to a home, so there's no need to move it, but you would choose the proper home and then choose the room that you want it in. So here in this home, I actually hadn't added any devices into the home, so I don't need it anymore. So then I'm going to double check, make sure I'm on the correct home. I'm going to go into settings, and then I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom and you have the option to delete this home. So here it's asking if I'm deleting the duplicates home. Since you're the last full access member, leaving will delete this home. This will also delete all app data. This home will no longer be associated with your Google account. Remove all devices and services. All devices and services in this home will be removed. Remove access to Nest devices, features, and partner apps. People that have been given access through the partner apps to Nest devices in this home will lose access to features like your cameras, live video, and video history. If you're moving, you can edit your address instead of deleting the home. Okay, so we already did the address change, but we are now going to delete this home. All right, that home was deleted, and now it's taking us back into our main home. So hopefully that helps you solve any problems with duplicate accounts or sharing your account. If you do have any further questions, let me know down in the comments below. Next, let's check out how to link a smart service to the Google Home app so that you can then control your smart devices in the Google Home app. So here we're going to head to the Devices tab, and then we're going to tap the ad down here in the bottom right-hand corner. So here we have 3 different device types. First, we have a Matter enabled device. So you'll see the Matter symbol or the Matter QR code if you need to link a Matter device, or you can connect a Google Nest or partner device. So if you have a Google Nest speaker, a Google Nest display, a Chromecast, you would select Google Nest or partner device. And then if you've added a device to another app, like maybe you have a Govee Lite that you added into the Govee app that says works with Google Home, you would then tap the works with Google Home button and then link the certain device that you have there. So here are devices I have linked. I can then go through and find other partners that I can link to have them then show up in the Google Home app. And then down under the add new, there are thousands of different services that are connected. Good news is there is a search button right at the top right so that we can then search for the service we want to link. So let's go ahead and link my new ecobee thermostat. So here we're just going to type in the name and there it shows up. So now it's going to ask us to link an account to control ecobee on any device, and then we will need to sign into that service so that it can then pull in those devices. And then here it's asking if we authorize this app, and down here it's showing different permissions that we will enable. So now we're going to accept, and now it's going to take us back to the Google Home app and add that device into the app. So here it takes us back to the Choose Device page. So we're going to need to go back and go to the Devices tab. And now we're going to scroll down to the section that says Link to You. So these are all the devices that I've linked to my account that I haven't put into a specific room in my home. And down here you can see that the main floor, the heat is 71 degrees. So that is our thermostat. So if I long press on there, it's going to take me into the settings. Here I can adjust the temperature, I can change the mode, and then here I have an option at the bottom to add it to a room. So let's go ahead and add it to a room. Here we're going to choose the appropriate home, and then we're going to move the device, and then we're going to choose a room. And let's go ahead and choose in the living room. And there you can see that when I go back, it moved it from the Link to You section up into the living room. And so now in the living room, you can see that we have the main floor thermostat. I can tap on it and quickly adjust the temperature. And now I have access to control it by voice from my Google Assistant devices. So now that you have your devices in the Google Home app, you will want to move them to their appropriate location. So let's go ahead and I'm going to scroll down here. And here we have Theo Lamp. So I'm now going to move that into his room. And how we do that is we're going to hold down on the device. It gives us the option to turn on the device, change the color. Here I even have the temperature or the colors that I can change. And then I'm going to tap settings up here. Now in here, it's allowing us to change the name if we want. Here we have the home. So right now it's not in a home. So we're going to add it to a home. And here we're going to choose our main home. So here it says it's going to add to the home. And this is going to do this for all the members that have access to the home. And now we're going to choose a room. So now let's go ahead and add this into Theo's room. And now the device has been successfully moved. Now here it's showing where this is linked from. So this is linked from Philips Hue. And then down here, it's even showing more. Sometimes you could have a Philips Hue light linked within SmartThings and then to Google Home. A little complicated. We'll get to that in just a minute. So now the device has been moved out of the link to you section and it has been moved up to the actual room that it's in. So I would make sure that you go through and do that to all of the different devices that you have here in the home. Now here you can see I have a few cameras. Let me show you how I'm going to move one as well as create a new room. So here we have stairs camera. So I'm going to add this to my home. And so here you could choose any of the rooms, but if you don't have a room that you want to add it to, you would then go down here and choose one of the suggested rooms, or you even have the option to create a custom room. So I've already created a custom room. Here we have one called the side door. So I'm going to add it to that and tap next. And so now it has moved out of the link to section into the proper room. Now, what are the benefits of adding all the devices into the right room? Well, here, if I have this Google speaker in the right room as the lights, all I need to do is ask Google to turn on the lights and it will turn on the lights in the room, or turn off the lights and it will turn off the lights in that room. If you don't do that, you're going to have to ask it for the exact light that you want, and then that makes it a little more confusing. So make sure you have all your speakers into the same room as your lights. So now I have the Nest Hub Max with the same room as the studio lights. So when you do that, all you need to do is ask Google to turn on or off the lights. Hey Google, turn off the lights. All right, when I did that, it knew I was talking just about these lights, not all the lights in the home, because that Google Home is in the same room here as those lights. Now on here, I could also use the display to turn all of those lights back on. And then I could also use some other commands to change the lights and other things like that. If I want to control other lights in different rooms, I would ask it to turn on the lights in the family room or turn off the lights in the bedroom. So I can use this to control all those other ones, but for the direct connection from this to the lights, it understands the lights, meaning the lights that are in this room. So hopefully that was a tip that you didn't know. So make sure you have everything set up in the right room in the Google Home app. Now, one thing with the organization of the rooms, they are organized by name. So if you do want something to appear at the bottom, that's when you would want to put like a Z in front of it, or something that with a lower name, yard instead of backyard. That way you can have it show lower on the list. Now, in the process of adding new services to your home, you may have a bunch of new devices that you've linked into your account. Now, instead of going through them one by one, there's actually a way where you can quickly pull all the devices into a specific room. Let me show you how to do that. So here under my unused devices, if we go in here, you can see that I have a ton of different lights that are currently in the wrong room. Well, if we go back and we go into the settings, and then we tap on devices, groups, and rooms. So in this section, it's going to show us the speaker groups that have been created, as well as the different rooms we have created to our home. So now I'm going to select the room that I want to move the lights into. So here we have house lights. I only have one device currently in here. Here it's showing me the room name and the lights that are currently in the room, and I can choose devices or delete the room. We want to go and choose devices. Now in here, it's showing a list of every device that I have linked into my home in an alphabetical list. So if you've listed things by name, this will be pretty easy to find. So I've already named these Hue, Light, 1, 2, 3, all the way down. So we're gonna scroll through this list and you can see it shows different types of devices. So you have shades, here we have Chromecast, we have candle, which is a LifeX light, we have fans. So that kind of helps you find the lights you're looking for. So I'm going to go down and here we have our Hue lights. So I have Hue color down light. And so we're going to easily tap on all the ones that need to be moved. So just those, not this one. Here we have a garage porch light. And then I also have a few other porch lights, porch 1, 2, and 3. Now that I've selected all the lights I want to move, I just tap save. It's then going to take all of those from the room they were in and move them into the appropriate room. And now you can see in the house lights, all those lights are now showing. So let's go back to the devices tab and refresh. And now if we go under the house lights, and here you can see all of those lights are now in this room. Now this is a much faster way than going into each light individually, giving it a home and then giving it a room. So definitely look at this way if you know the names of your devices and want to find them quickly. Now, as I'm going through the list of devices that are linked into my home, you'll notice that I have a lot of devices that are offline. That means they currently are just turned off, or I'm no longer using that service, and so they've just been kind of locked in here into the Google Home app. So there are two different ways in which you can remove the devices that you are no longer using anymore. The first way is to go into the app where you set up that device. So let's go ahead and go into the Casa app where we have a few different devices set up I'm no longer using. So here I have some outlets and things that I'm using, but right here I have Garage Cam. It's currently offline, so it's saying this device is unreachable. So one thing you can do to reach it is to go and plug it in and get it powered back onto your Wi-Fi. So then it will walk you through the steps on how to get your device working again, getting it powered on, connected to Wi-Fi, and so on, but I no longer want this device. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to long press on the device, and I'm going to push the little minus button here, and that's going to remove this device from the list. So here it's then going to remove it from my account. It's not going to work with any of my different Casa services that I've been using, and so on. So now I'm going to remove the device. Now after a refresh, you can see that the device is gone. I didn't have to power it on, but now Casa recognizes that device no longer exists. So if I go back into the Google Home app and I go here under the devices tab, if you just pull down at the very top, it's going to refresh all the devices that you have in your home. And now that garage camera from Casa is no longer going to show up. So it will automatically remove itself. Now, if it was one of these devices in the garage, it's no longer there. Now, the other way to remove a device is to completely unlink that service in the Google Home app. So here we're going to go into settings, and then we're going to go to Works with Google again, and we're going to go and see all the different services that we have. And right now, I'm currently not using Aki Home. I have a couple devices set up there, but I'm not using them right now. So all I need to do is tap on Aki Home, and then it gives me the option to unlink the account. So are you sure you want to unlink the account? This will also unlink 2 associated devices from the Google Assistant. Okay, so we're going to tap unlink, and now it is going to remove those from my home. And if I go back here under the devices, you won't find those services anymore. So that is a few different ways in which you can remove devices from the Google Home app. One thing I really like about the Google Home app is how it will sync those devices. So if you do remove it from this app, it will automatically remove it from the home. Some other smart home services just leave it there, and then you have a ton of devices you're no longer using anymore. It's really confusing. I'm now going to look through the other accounts that I have linked to my Google Home app and remove any that I'm no longer using. So here I'm not using the Genie light right now. I'm not using my Harmony, so I'm actually going to unlink that. Now, if you accidentally unlink an account you do need to use, you can just go through the process to add it back in, and it will then link those devices into your home, and then you will need to reorganize them. Now, if you've added a new device to that service, like maybe you add another Philips Hue light bulb to your Hue hub, and you don't see it under the Link to You section, just come back in here and tap on the service. So here I would tap on the service and tap Reconnect Account. It will then find any new devices you've added and bring them into the Link to You section where you can organize. You don't need to unlink all that you've done and then do it. It will automatically find those few that have been re-added, so you just need to sort those. Now, going through this list, I noticed I am missing SmartThings. Now, SmartThings is a whole nother smart home platform, but if you have a bunch of devices linked in your SmartThings account, and then you go and link it into Google Home, it will then pull in every device linked into SmartThings into your Google Home. And if you've already linked those services, it's going to duplicate those devices. So there are 2 ways in which you could set this up. You could go through and link all of these services into SmartThings and then just link SmartThings so that controls everything into the Google Home. Or you could do it like I'm doing currently, where you have SmartThings kind of operating on its own, and then I'm linking all the other services directly into Google Home. So there are a few benefits to doing it one way or the other, but this is just going to be up to you. Right now, I'm trying where everything's in SmartThings, and then I have linked to Google Home, but eventually I probably will have all of these linked into the SmartThings app, and then link SmartThings and only the other services that aren't supported in SmartThings. I hope all of that makes sense. So here I have Brilliant Light Control. Let's go into the app there. So here you can see it has all these different devices. Let's go into my lights and go into Basement Hallway. If I turn that on, that's the light in here. So it's actually not basement hallway. So I'm going to rename it, and we're going to call this office main lights. And that is the device in the office. Next we have the kitchen. All right, so here we have the hallway lights. I'm currently not using this device. So what I'm going to do is tap on the settings here, and I'm going to go down to the bottom and remove the device. Here it's asking for a PIN code, and here I'm going to confirm removal. So I'm going to have to go through and set up that device again, but I'm not using it, so I don't want it to be in the Google Home app where I don't have a room for it. So now again, I'm going to tap on check, and we're going to go back in the Google Home app, and that device will have been removed. Brett's office is kind of working. I am missing one device. So that is from a Brilliant device that I used to have in a different room. So I'm going to go down to the bottom here and see if I can find it. So one way to easily find it is I can see if the device is connected. All these devices that currently aren't connected, they're not going to be what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go in here to unused. I'm going to hold down, scroll down and see if I have a light, and there we have the office main light. Now because I went into the Brilliant app and changed the name, that changed the name over here so I can easily recognize it. I'm pretty sure that happens every time. So now I'm going to long press on here. I'm going to go into settings and let's change the room into the office. And going back into the room, here we can see that we now have those two lights. Here we have the main lights I can turn on and off. And here I have one more outlet that I'm currently not using. I just need to plug it in, but I'm going to keep it here for now. Now that I only have the services that I want to use linked, we're going to head back to the Devices tab. Now here under the Devices tab, we're going to start from the top. Here you can see my different rooms. So in this room, I have a speaker clock, I have some blinds, and I have the lights in that room. If you want to see all the lights in the room, you can hold down on here and scroll down to the bottom, and here you can see we have two lights. We have an Adele's lamp, and we have the fairy lights. So I can control them individually there. If I hold down again, it then takes me into that specific light, or here, this is going to control all the lights in that room. Scrolling down, here we have another backyard camera, another Tapo camera. Here in the basement, we have the playroom camera. So if I tap on there, it's going to load up the playroom. So great, that's working. Here I have basement hallway TV. If you don't know what it is, you can long press on it and tap the settings. This is a Chromecast that I currently don't have plugged in, and I'm not using it, so let's go ahead and remove this device. And now that device has been removed. Now because that was a Chromecast that was added in the Google Home app, that's all I have to do to remove it from the Google Home app. And then the next time I want to use it, I would need to reset it and then get it connected to my Wi-Fi again and into my account. Now over here, I do have the projector. So this device, if I long press on it, here you can see it's trying to load it. It can't because it's currently not powered on. And then I can go into device info and learn more about it, but I know I want this in my house. It's just not currently on. Next, we're gonna go into the bathroom. So here we have the bathroom blinds, and here we have an Aqara sensor. So that is what is supposed to be in the room. And so here I can see how this is linked. This is currently linked over Matter. So here in the bedroom, we have lights, we have displays. We have a baby room sensor. That should not be there. So we're gonna tap on the settings. We're then going to make sure it's in the correct home. I'm going to tap room, and here I have Theo's room. And I'm going to tap save. Now that was my Google Nest thermostat sensor, so it can detect the temperature in the room. All right, that has now been moved out of the room. I like how you can see it jump down to where it's supposed to be. And now everything is left that we need. Here we have a ceiling fan. Here we have the bedroom shades, the other bedroom shade, and our smart bed. More on that in another video. Next, we have my office. So that is the office that I'm using right here. So let's go ahead and see what lights are actually connected. So here we have basement lamp. Hey, that's that one right there. So tapping on the light, I can then quickly see, oh, that's the lamp that I have right here. I can turn it on and off. Over here, I have a light that I'm no longer using here, which is called the Batcave light. Here I have Batcave light switch. So let's go ahead and remove these. So here I have Batcave light. I'm gonna hold down on it. I'm gonna go on the settings and just double check which one this is. All right, so this is a Tuya smart switch. I'm no longer currently using it, but I may add it again. So I have the option to go into the Tuya app and delete it, or I could just move it into a room that I'm not currently using. I'm gonna go into my rooms, and here I've made a room called ZZZ unused, just because they're kind of asleep right now. So if I leave the lights, go back into the lights, There you can see that one of those has been removed. Again, let's check this one out. And here we have a duplicate of that same light. Let's go into the Tuya app. So there we have just the one Batcave light. So there it was showing a duplicate of the same light. And now I'm going to go and relink Tuya to see if that removes the duplicate. So there I'm going to agree and link. It already had my sign-in information. And if we go here under Tuya, I still have 13 devices. All right, interesting. So now by going into the ZZZ unused room and holding down on the lights, it's going to show all the lights that I currently have unconnected. And here it's still showing the Batcave light. Now, because I'm no longer using this light, I'm going to remove it from the Tuya app. And let's see if it removes the duplicates as well. So I'm going to tap on settings, scroll down, remove device, disconnect, and wipe data. And after refreshing the app and going into the room, there you can see it removed that light and those duplicates. Now, one thing you can also do is ask the Google Assistant to sync my devices. When you use that command, it will go through and refresh everything that's available, and it will make those updates. Now, while you're going through this process, you can also see that whoever you've shared your Google Home with will have the same changes on their app as well. So if they go into the Devices tab, and let's go here under Brett's office. There you can see all those devices are appearing, the same devices that I have here in my app. So now I have my two lights. I have my office display, just not currently plugged in. I have a Max, I have a Nest Audio Office, which is actually currently in the kitchen. So let's go ahead, move it in the kitchen. Long press, tap the settings, and then here we're gonna go to device info, and here we have placement, and we're gonna change the placement to the kitchen. And let's rename it to Nest Audio Kitchen. And if we refresh over here, there you can see it has moved that device to the new home. Next, we have Christmas lights. So one of the things I learned that throughout the year, I most likely don't use those same plugs for anything else. If I do, I'll just come in here and move the device to a different room. But for the majority, all of my Christmas lights are always Christmas lights. So I like to create a room where I can easily say, turn the Christmas lights on. It turns all the Christmas lights on, or I can turn the Christmas lights off, and so on. So I'm gonna go through my app and find all the Christmas lights that should be in here so that I just have to say one command to turn them all on and one command to turn them all off. So here I have the Den Christmas tree. Here I have a loft tree. If I go into settings, again, that's V-Sync. I'm not using that, so we're gonna change this. I like to name it what it is so that when I find it, I know which one it is. And I'm gonna move that into the unused. All right, so in here we have the family room tree. We have Mr. Snowman, gingerbread lights. Now I know that I've actually added some into a different home. So I'm gonna go to that home, and here we have colorful tree. So I'm gonna hold that down, go into settings, I'm gonna move it first to the correct home, and then I'm going to move it to the correct room. So there it's in the correct home and in the correct room. Now, certain devices that you link into the Google Home app will allow you to change its device type. Here I have a Tapo Smart Outlet. So this is an outlet, but you may have it plugged into a different device and you want it to be shown as that type of device. So here you can see I have lights, and then I have some of these different outlets. Now these are outlets, but they're controlling a light. So if we long press on here, and then we go into the settings, here it gives us the option to adjust the device type. So if I tap on here, I can change it to a light. We're gonna change it to a light because it's connected to tree lights. Then you have the option to choose air conditioner, coffee maker, dehumidifier, fan, heater, humidifier, kettle, TV, outlet, and switch. So when we choose light, it now removes it from the outlet section and then puts it and groups it with the other lights that are in the room. So there now it's showing as a light, but it still recognizes that it is from a smart outlet. So there it moved it out of the outlet portion, and it is now moved into here under the light. So if you have a device that's popping up here outside of the lights and you want to adjust it, you may need to go and change the device type for that device. Okay, if you come to a camera where if you go into the camera, it doesn't load up the camera, you can check down here what that camera is. So we know this is a TP-Link camera, but if I want to remember exactly where that is, I can either go to the Tapo app, or here I can just ask my Google display, hey Google, show me the stairs cam. And even though it won't load in the Google Home app,
Stairs cam on Nest Hub Max.
It's then going to stream that over here on my Google display. And depending on the camera, it may take a little longer. Let's see if the Tapo works here. And that, for whatever reason, didn't work. So I know where that is though. That is in the side door. That's right. Then here we have all the devices that I currently am not using. So here we have some Wise cams that are operating properly. So I might need to move those into a room, but then here I have other devices that I either need to place or just unlink because I no longer am using them on my account. So I do have quite a few of those. I'm just gonna leave them for now. They're not causing any harm. If you have devices that are named closely to other devices, you may want to rename them or go through and delete them from your account. I've now made my way through most of my rooms, and so now I'm at the very bottom where I have a bunch of devices that aren't currently working. So down here, we have the ZZZ unused. All of the lights are combined right in here. So let's check those out. So here I have a GE light. This is something that connects directly to Google Home. I don't link it through the Works with Google section. So this device I'm not using right now. I'm gonna go ahead and just remove that so that it has been removed from my app. Then here we have a tombstone. This is a Halloween decoration that I have. So I'm gonna move this into a room called Halloween, and then I'll know exactly where it is. And then here under the link to you section, as you can see, none of them are currently turned on. So once I get them plugged in, then I can move them into the right room so that they can work appropriately. And at the very bottom here, we have groups. So these are speaker groups. Google now has access to do all the cool group speaker stuff again. So here is where you can see your groups. So if I tap on family room group, it's going to show me those devices that are connected together. I can choose more devices so I can add other speakers to this group. This is for playing music on multiple Google Home speakers. This is not for playing audio from your Chromecast to your speakers. That is not possible. This is just to play songs on multiple speakers throughout the house. So here you can see I have a few different speakers connected here. Let's go ahead and add another one. We have the Nest Audio Office. Yeah, let's go ahead and add that one to this group. And there we have this group. So if I cast music to that group, it's gonna play on all of them. So there you can adjust the groups. Now, if you want to adjust more of those groups, you're gonna go to Settings. And then here we're gonna tap on the devices. And then here we have speaker groups. So here I have the option to create a new speaker group, or I can adjust the speaker groups that I already have. Now that we have everything organized in the Google Map, the next thing you want to do is make sure you add devices to your favorites. So here we're going to go to the Favorites tab, and here I've already added favorites. So I have my doorbell showing first, other cameras, and then other devices I want to quickly adjust. If you go down to the bottom, you can tap Edit, and then it allows you to add certain things. So you can add an assistant button, a broadcast button, a call home button, or you can add buttons for different automations. And then down here, it's going to organize by room, and you can select your favorite devices that you want to see on the Favorites tab. When you're done, you can tap Save. They will then show up here. If you want to reorder how these work, you can tap the Reorder button, and then all you need to do is click and drag, and you can move them around, move your favorite ones to the top, and other ones you don't want to see as much down to the bottom. When that's complete, you can tap Save, and now right here on your Favorites tab, it's going to show your favorite devices first. Up here at the top, you can then quickly see access to all the cameras that are linked to your home. You have access to lighting, where I can go through and see what rooms have lights on. If I want to turn them off, I can simply tap, it will turn that light off. And then if I want to tap all my lights off, I can do that, or all the lights on right there. If you're using a Nest Wi-Fi or Google Wi-Fi, here you can see more about that. And then last here we have climate, meaning we can adjust our temperature for supported devices. So here I have my upstairs thermostat. I can then come in here and make those adjustments as needed. So I hope this video was helpful in showing you how to organize your Google Home. Once you have this done properly, you can now ask your Google speaker to control your lights, fans, shades, and other things in your home with ease. You can also control the rest of your house knowing exactly where everything is. If you have any further questions about this process, please let me know down in the comments below, and I'll be sure to make follow-up videos showing you how to solve those other problems. If you want to hit subscribe, I'm all about talking about Google Home, Smart Home, and much more. You can also check out more of my Google Home videos by clicking on the playlist right here. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.